Sorry about that. Having a little trouble getting in. Yay. Everybody has their wine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I heard somebody else say yes. Okay, so what you guys are gonna do is you're gonna take a half a cup of water. You're gonna take the bentonite. You're gonna blend it in there. You're gonna mix it stirred really, really well with cold water first. And then you're gonna warm it up to a boil. And then you're gonna add that to your wine. But before you do that, take a look at your wine. It should be clearing at this point, right? So like get a little cup or a glass, dip it in there, see if it's clearing. Because that should have been what happened last week with the sparkling. You, Michaela, you and your sister. So what you guys are gonna do, you guys have a packet of yeast.
Uh-huh.
So what you're gonna need to do is get a half a teaspoon
Okay.
of that yeast and just add it to your wine.
That's it?
That's it. That's all you need to do, right? Because what's going to happen is that yeast is it's a different strain than the one I gave you before. It's a little bit different than the one I gave you before. It should be stronger, and so it's going to metabolite out the poisons. So it's going to kill a lot of the yeast, but you're going to have some that are going to continue to grow. And then once they grow, then you'll be set. You know, you'll start making the wine.
Oh, okay, wow. And do I need to activate the yeast beforehand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I
you
will
want
do
to
that
take,
right now.
yeah, with a little bit of warm water.
Okay, cool.
What did you say? So yours is still cloudy? Okay. Is it as cloudy as it was before, Alberto?
What was that?
I said, is it as cloudy as it was before?
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I don't know if you can see that. It's
Yeah, it's still cloudy. Okay, so then what you're going to do is go ahead and add the bentonite. That's going to help clarify that. And if that doesn't help, I'm going to recommend that you guys use gelatin. Gelatin is that would be the last thing that I would use if I had to.
Are we going to use all the capsule of the bentonite?
Yeah, so you're going to use the whole container of the bentonite.
Okay.
So you're going to put that in about a half a glass of water, warm it up, and then you're good to go. Selena, so how is yours going? Have you tried it?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I need you to try yours. Okay, because I have mine going right now, and it's just now starting to get enough pressure that it's going a little bit, but it hasn't really started bubbling a lot. My wine was bubbling like crazy.
You said take the sorbet and put in a half a cup of water.
No, you're going to take the bentonite and a half a cup of water. So you don't want to put the sorbate in there yet. That's going to be the last thing that you do once you're trying to kill off the yeast. And it really doesn't kill off the yeast. What it does, it causes them to kind of arrest in the growth cycle, and so they get kind of stuck in the growth cycle. And then if that sorbate is gone, as soon as it's metabolized, then it's able to sit there and continue to grow. So it's great for a couple of years, and then eventually what happens, the sorbate will actually break down, and then yeast are able to get out of that phase. So
You said
bentonite. That's going to be one of the last things you're going to use. So you're going to be looking for bentonite. I can't remember. I think it was
the orange
color.
the red.
What was that?
Red.
Red. Okay. Okay, so you guys all have to bring a sampler. So like get a water bottle or a or a glass bottle, probably a glass bottle would be better. So that I can sample it to make sure that you're going to get the grade that I'm going to give you. On finals day.
Is that how you're actually going to grade?
Yeah, I'm going to grade you on the quality of your wine.
You have a designated driver.
So we're adding the full capsule of bentonite?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so now the thing is about the bentonite, since we're adding so much of it, it's going to really clear, it should really clear your system, right? And it's going to be kind of clumpy, very clumpy at the bottom. So when you, at the next stage, you're actually going to try to transfer things into another container. So if you have the ability, I try to get another white container like this. They cost, the buckets cost at Home Depot, I think it was like $4 or $3 or something like that.
I'm also here, Dr. Henry, under
Okay.
my sister's account. Yeah.
Okay,
Dr. Henry, did you tell me half a teaspoon or half a tablespoon?
half a teaspoon.
Okay. I just heated up the water. I'm about to activate the yeast.
My mouth was watering at the different wine mixtures that you guys are making, the different fruit mixtures. Sound delicious. So, Jessica, are you going to sample your wine? You're going to take a little bit out, sample it, take a look at it.
Okay. let's see.
Alberto, what did yours taste like?
Did you ask me?
Yep.
Oh, mine's pretty strong. A lot
Pretty
stronger than last time. Yeah.
Okay. Taylor, what about you?
So I'm actually not home right now, but I'm just getting the information.
Okay, so you guys remember that your lids, they have that strip that allows you to sit there and remove them. You don't want to remove them that way. You want to remove them using like a screwdriver or something to kind of pop it open and take the lid off to sit there and taste, okay? And you don't want to just dump it in. You want to sit there, you need to boil it with warm water first, because that has to be, you have to remember, this is, the bentonite is coming from soil. And so it needs to be sterilized by you boiling it. It's sterilizing it, and it also kind of puts it in solution. It's gonna get really clumpy. No, you need to boil the bentonite.
Okay, unmute it. Oh, hello?
Yep.
How much water do we boil it in?
So you're gonna try to boil it in a half a cup of water.
Okay,
You may need a full cup. That's okay. If you need a full cup, use a full cup. So just take out a cup of wine and then replace it with the bentonite. So, but the key is
Okay.
to try to get that bentonite mixed well, because you want it distributed evenly so that it drops things out. And that's going to do a lot of the dropping. Okay.
okay.
Did you get that, Matt, as well?
Yeah, I've got it boiling right now.
So did you sample your wine? Did everybody sample the wine?
Yeah, you can like get drunk off with like one little teaspoon, Dr. Henry.
See, this is a really good wine yeast. It gives you up. So in theory, you should be able to get to about 30% alcohol with it if you do it right. So it can be really potent.
Wow, that's a lot of alcohol.
So the higher the better grade we get, right?
Exactly, you know?
Does it get stronger as it ages, or does it?
So
What
they-
happens when it ages?
what happened with it aging? So
Yes.
the first thing is that you've kind of cleared out, hopefully you've cleared out most of your yeast. So with aging, what happens is that you're starting to get some of the nice balance of your tannins and things like that. So they're not so bitter and stuff. So you're starting to break down some of the other things. So it gives a chance for the wine to kind of come into its own, you know?
Okay.
You know, a young wine is kind of like a teenager, right? It's like they're wild and everything like that. But as the wine ages a little bit, it kind of matures and gets the flavors in. And
Okay.
I know I'm gonna sound like your 2A students, but we boil water and then we mix the bentonite in the hot water and then pour it.
no. So you want to mix it first in the coal, right? Because then that'll help you get it distributed. And then you want to boil it.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Cassie, where's your road dog, Abby? Or is she gonna wait till 5 minutes before I'm ready to leave to come in?
I don't know. I would have been here closer to 7, but my students had lots of questions, and I'm like, hurry up.
Yeah, I know. I've been there.
I'm like, look online. Everything's on there. What'd I miss?
We are talking about you're going to be adding the Bentonite. So have you tasted yours? Have you had your other half taste it yet?
No, he's working, and my mother-in-law doesn't drink wine, so it's not gonna like kill me if I taste it, right? Like it's not the poison state.
No, it's not at the poison state. You're good.
Okay, well, I mean, I can have just a little sip.
Yeah.
Like a spoonful.
But yeah, taste it, and you're going to be adding the Bentonite.
Okay. Let me actually switch platforms. I'll be back.
There she is. There's the Abby. She didn't wait till I was getting ready to leave lab to come in.
Are you
Yeah, I was
leaving?
talking noise about you. I was already talking noise. I'm like, is she probably gonna wait till the last minute to come? Okay, Abby, so we're gonna be adding the Bentonite today. So the first thing that you wanna do is take a look. You wanna take a glass, take a sample and see what it looks like. And then you also wanna taste it to see if it's still that nice alcohol content that you want. And you want to get it to the point where it's a strong alcohol taste at this point. What you're going to do at the very end, before you start adding the sorbitol and stuff like that, is you're going to sweeten it to your taste. And then you're going to do that for a day. It's going to ferment a little bit more. And then you're going to add the sorbitol. Then the sorbitol is going to kill the yeast or stop the yeast in its tracks. But that's going to be the last thing. The last thing that you're going to be doing.
Dr. Henry, after we add the yeast, is that all that we need to do for tonight?
Yeah, for
Since
you,
we're kind of
that's
behind
all
everyone.
you need to do for tonight. And you just got to let it, you got to seal it tight. Make sure that you're getting,
Like no air escaping?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so wait, I couldn't hear anything. Like it comes and goes. Can you repeat that again?
okay. So you're going to be working with the bentonite. And so what you need to do is take, yes, that's it. Yep. So you're going to take that, put it in cold water, mix it. And then you're going to put it in a half a cup of water. But if you need a full cup, you can use a full cup. But you're going to mix it really well. And then you're going to boil it.
And then boil it.
Yes, it needs to be boiled.
And then once it's boiled, I add it to my wine.
Yep.
Let me do that.
we good to go once we add everything?
Yep, you're good to go. I'll see you guys on Wednesday.
Alrighty, thank you.
Have a
So
good
today
night.
we're just,
What
so
was
today
that?
we're just adding the bentonite.
Excuse me? Yeah,
So
today
today
you're just adding the bentonite, yes.
Is that based on flavor you said, or we have to add it no matter what?
No, it really depends on, if you have no alcohol content, you really don't want to add it. Because
Okay.
what it does, it'll push the yeast all the way down, although it'll still continue to ferment, but it's got to
Not
work at that lower grade, exactly, not as efficiently.
Okay. Let me man, this sucks. Because there's, I'll show you, Dr. Henry, there's no say bubbles anywhere.
Do we need to stir it after we add it?
No,
Or
you
just
wanna
dump it in?
Just put it in just evenly, so just like pour it on the top evenly. You don't have to stir it. You can stir it if you want to, but you don't have to.
See, Dr. Henry?
Yeah, yours is very skilled. That's not,
But it's sealed. Like, that's me barely pushing on the.
yeah.
So,
I think you got a good seal. That's really weird.
Look, mine's like that too. Wait, hold on. Let me show you. I'm freaking out too. Can you see it? Where is it?
What is the temperature of your guys' house? You guys keep it really, really cold?
I think
No, actually, it gets hot here.
it's hot right now because I haven't been up.
Yeah.
Let me
Well,
Is
see.
that bad?
But you tasted alcohol the last time, right?
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Let me taste it.
Oh,
So
it's
you're
at,
good.
it's
Yeah,
at
taste it.
77.
That's the best way. If it has an alcoholic taste, you know you're making alcohol.
Okay.
77, but it's set at 75.
Yeah. So it also could be that you basically fermented all of the sugar out already. And then so you're good to go.
I'm just that good.
Yeah, it could be. You know, you may have really activated that yeast, and that yeast was like, ooh. You know? My very first batch, literally, it did not bubble at all, but it was so strong. When we took the readings of alcohol, it was insane how much alcohol was.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get this off.
You can try it with a screwdriver, usually.
Well, I had Incredible Hulk, then friggin' put it on with his whole body weight.
Yeah, that's what I have to adjust it, go around the edges, but I do it with my hands. So
Dr. Henry.
Yep.
So we don't have to add the pectic or a yeast nutrient or anything like that right now?
no, because your pectin is already still in there. And your yeast nutrient, they're just chemicals. So they're going to be in there, and the yeast is going to use them regardless, right? What you're trying to do, you're just putting extra yeast in there to kind of get rid of the poison that slows yeast growth. That's all you're doing. So what you're doing, you're out competing the chemical. That's what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, Dr. Henry, it's strong.
Wow, mine smells good.
It smells good. Yeah.
Dude.
So yours was strong too? Okay, so then you must have really activated your yeast.
Well, because you said to get like the ripe fruit too. So
Yep.
Casey was looking for the stuff that like we're gonna eat, and I was like, no, get the mushy ones over there.
That's right. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, I did a good job.
Woo!
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good job.
So just add it in evenly and put the lid back on and we're good.
Yep,
Okay. Thank you.
no problem. How did yours taste, Matt?
Bye, Matt.
Bye. How are you?
I'm all right. I missed you this morning.
I know. I had to make that executive decision to go tonight. So
Oh, well, I got to hear your voice tonight, though.
bless your heart. Anyway, it kind of tasted like rubbing alcohol. I don't know, like it wasn't, or vinegar, or I can't really put my tongue on it.
Literally. Whew.
It was okay.
Okay. Good.
Kind of like apples and a mixture of apples and vinegar and alcohol.
Well, the vinegar part I don't want, but
I just don't like alcohol. Maybe that's where I'm getting that from. I don't drink, so.
Yeah.
All right, well, I will see you guys later.
okay. Have a good night.
Bye.
Are you going tomorrow?
To tutoring?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you there.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Yeah. All right, Dr. Henry, I have boiled my concoction. Then I
Okay.
added my other concoction, right?
Okay. Yep. So just go ahead and add it.
Okay.
And you can mix it if you want to, but you don't necessarily need to mix it. It'll work regardless. So
Man, mine is
Okay.
really good. I don't even want to add anything anymore.
I know
done.
Abby's saying
I'm over here having like a few sips.
Dr. Henry,
Yes.
I did the taste test. Well, I didn't. I had someone do it.
okay.
So they say it tastes like alcohol, but a little bit acidic.
A little bit
vinegar.
acidic. Okay. Okay. So then, so what we'll do is you're good to go. Have you already added the Bentonite? Is it strong alcohol or was it weak alcohol?
¿Sabe? Fuerte alcohol o- Yeah, strong alcohol.
Strong? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then that's good. So it's going to be a little acidic. So what we can do, I can give you guys some potassium bicarbonate, actually. You guys can use a little bit of baking soda to kind of neutralize the acidity, but we'll do that towards the end. So. Okay, so did you get your Bentonite boiling and everything, Mauricio?
Yes, I'm adding it right now.
Okay, good, good.
Henry, I have a quick question.
Yep.
What if my stove is not working right now? Can I microwave it?
Yeah, you can microwave it.
Okay.
Yeah. The biggest thing is that you're using it as a way of sanitizing the bentonite. You know, you're using the temperature because it's coming from the earth, you know, it's a earth clay, so.
Okay.
Dr. Henry?
Yep.
I don't have to add anything to the kombucha, right?
You just got to taste it. How did yours taste?
Well, for me, it tastes like fizzy orange juice.
Perfect. That's exactly how it's supposed to taste, right?
Oh, okay.
So now the question is, do you want to let it sit longer so that it gets a little more soury? Is it a little bit sour or is it no sourness to it?
Well, it's like I don't taste the sour. It's like a slight sourness.
A slight sourness? Okay, so you
Yeah.
can do it to taste. So you can keep going, or you could stop it at this point. And the way that you would stop it, you would also stop it by adding this the bentonite, or you can let it go for a little bit longer and then like add the bentonite next week or something like that.
Okay.
Okay. I mean,
Yeah.
not the bentonite, the sorbate. And so we just have to do the calculations for your sorbate. So
Right. And then I would like dump the whole sorbet or like just the
No,
spring.
no,
bit?
you have to weigh it out because we have to it's based upon the volume that you have. And so typically you want to get it to the sweetness that you want and all of that before you add the sorbate, okay? So we have to take that in consideration, how much sugar you're adding and also how much sorbate you're adding. Because like I said, sorbate basically, for eukaryotic cells, it causes an arrest of eukaryotic cells. So it'll do the same thing to our cells. So you want to make sure that you just have enough to affect the bacteria and the yeast that are in there, not us, right?
Okay.
You understand? So it's up to you. So do you want to let it wait till next week and then take a sampling of it then, and then you decide if you want to add a little more sugar, and then like next week we'll have the rest of the crew to kind of do the sorbate part of it after they switch it over. What does it look like?
Like
Okay.
I don't know how to explain
Okay. So what we can do, we can also filter it out, right?
it. Right.
Yeah, so we can get like a coffee filter or something like that to kind of filter it a little bit more. So then it'll give us a nice consistency and a nice color. Looks good though.
It looks like barf. Not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie. But I bet you it tastes delicious. I can't wait to taste it.
It looks like barf.
Wow.
It definitely tastes like alcohol though.
Yeah. It
But
definitely has a kick to it, huh?
I'm not a sweet wine person. I'm more like bitter and dry.
You might
Does
like
it-
mine then.
Does it fit your bitter and dryness?
No, it's super sweet.
It's still super sweet?
I mean, I can
Okay.
taste the alcohol,
Okay.
but it's just really sweet. So
Okay. Well, then we can let it ferment some more. It'll use up all the sugar.
I mean, it's like a girly wine right now.
Yeah.
Casey would like it. He's the girly drinker. I'm not. Don't tell
Yeah,
myself.
I need the whiskey, you know.
Well, he does whiskey, but like I'll do like Boilermakers, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'll have like a tropical sunrise, and I'm like, what? Okay.
Dr. Turner.
Yep.
Is there anything else?
Nope, that's it. Just want to seal it back up, let it continue fermenting and precipitating. And so normally it takes about a week to start seeing some nice clearance. 2 weeks, really good, and 3 weeks for the best. But it's really up to you guys if you guys want to continue going on. But all you need to do is bring in a sample for me, and then I'll give you guys I'll make little videos for you guys to continue doing the next steps if you want that. If you want to make it perfect.
Okay.
Bottling.
What does a Bentonite do to the wine?
So it precipitates, and it uses intramolecular forces to precipitate all of like the proteins and membranes and stuff down. And so it brings it all the way down, and so it clears up the wine. It can also clear out some of the color and some of the flavor if you let it sit too long. So you don't want to let it sit too long with the Bentonite. Like the most you ever want to let it sit is about, maybe a month and a half, the most. The least you want to let it sit is probably like a week or two, So, and it does a really good job of clearing it out. So it makes it so clear that it's almost good enough to bottle.
So you either have to drink it within that week to month period.
No, you can let it, like after you let it clear. So all you're doing is letting the Bentonite pull out all of the proteins and stuff. If you let it sit longer than that or a month and a half, right? What'll happen is start taking out some of the color. So then you start losing some of the color to it, and then it'll take out some of the taste as well.
So you just filter it out then at that point?
Yeah, so you can either filter it out. So usually what I do, I transfer it to another bucket. And so I pour off, leaving only the part, or I siphon off, leaving only part of it. Siphon it is better because if you siphon it, then you leave a lot of the junk in that bucket. If you pour it off, you end up taking some of the junk with you. So you have to go through another point where you just have to let it sit and settle.
Oh, okay. So if I'm gonna let this sit more, is it gonna get sweeter?
No, it's not gonna get any sweeter. It's gonna get more alcohol content.
Okay, so
The longer you
I-
let it sit, the more alcoholic it'll get.
okay, so I think I'm gonna do that instead of adding this stuff
Okay, sounds good.
just to see. I don't know.
Yep.
It's obviously working, but
Yeah, well, that's good. That's what we wanted to be sure of. Yeah. Because we were a little concerned because it wasn't bubbling the way that,
I had like small ones, but I mean it's not. Well, now that I've messed with it and opened it, it's back up to a few. But
yeah.
but yeah.
Wait, but if I added the Bentonite, is mine gonna produce more alcohol or no?
Yours it's still going to produce more alcohol. It's going to continue to produce alcohol until you decide to kill off the yeast. And there's 2 ways of doing the killing of the yeast. We'll talk about that next week, sort of.
So do we have to kill the yeast though?
You
Once
don't
we get
have
to it?
you don't have to kill the yeast. What I recommend, like after you do the bentonite, you transfer it to another container. That wine that you have after you transfer it, it's still going to have some of the yeast in there, but they're going to be floating in solution. They're going to be very minimal. That bottom of the container with all of the bentonite, it's going to have a whole bunch of live yeast, right? And so that you can actually save, like store, and put it in like a little container, a Ziploc bag, and then you can use that as a starter for making more wine.
Oh. Nice.
Yep. Okay, piece of cake.
Yep. Well, I'm done, I guess then. That's what we're
Okay.
doing for today, right?
That's it.
All right. I'm gonna close this sucker up and
Yeah, I sealed mine back up. I don't think it's ready.
Yep.
Here, you want to say hi?
Hi. She's so cute.
My name's Elsa. Okay, can you say bye, Elsa?
Bye, Elsa.
Bye.
All right. I just got her back, so. All right, I'm gonna seal it up, and then I will do. You said like next week, check it again, and then add the.
Yep.
Bentonite in. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome.
all right, then I'll
Okay.
see
Right, y'all.
everybody tomorrow, and then I'll see you, Dr. Henry, Wednesday.
Okay, sounds good. You have a good night.
You too.
All right.
Okay, bye-bye.
Head out too.
Okay, bye, Dr. Henry. See you on Wednesday.
Hello?
Bye. I'll see you on Wednesday.
Bye, Dr. Henry.
Hold on.
Bye. Bye.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I'm also gonna head out too.
Okay. I will see you on Wednesday.
All right, see you then.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too. Bye.